Hello, welcome to my channel, Duckpotatoe's World. I am Katie, aka Mrs. Duckpotato, and in this bonusode, we are going to look back on the second year of Blanket of Knowledge and kick off year 3. So if this is your first time joining me, welcome. I am so happy to have you, and if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. I am thrilled to have you again. So I hope you have a project to work on. I hope you have a blanket of knowledge to work on, and let's get going. Now, I realize this is technically a month late because the first month of year 3 would have been August of 2024, and this is September. But you'll have to forgive me because I was a little behind finishing my blankets. And yeah, so we'll just take a look at where we're at today and kick off year 3. Now, Blanket of Knowledge is a subscription make-along with Hot Springs Fiber Company. You sign up for it. You can use my affiliate link down below. And then you will receive every month a box with your yarn and pattern for the month and other goodies. Always there's a stitch marker and usually something a little extra. It's different every month. And usually some kind of snack. And I have been doing it since the very first month that it started, which would have been in August of 2022. And I have completed my first year's blanket. That first year, I only did one blanket, and I would love to show it to you, but it is actually still in Hot Springs Fiber Company on display, so I haven't been able to show that completed project on any of my videos yet, like actually in my hand, but I will put a picture in of me showing the blanket, and as soon as it comes home from Hot Springs Fiber Company in Arkansas, I will show it off in one of my regular monthly videos. But I don't actually have it in my hands to show you today. But that was the first year that I did this. Now, for me, I choose to make my blankets 1 year long. But one of the great things about the Blanket of Knowledge is you don't have to do that. You can begin whenever you want to, make the blanket the size that you want, and stop whenever you want to. So if you wanted to make a smaller blanket that's only 9 months of the knit along, that would be fine. If you wanted to make a king size blanket that's 18 months of the make along, that would be fine too. This is just how I choose to do mine and how I choose to share it with you guys. But we are into the 3rd year of this ongoing make along, and it has done nothing but get better as time has gone on. So I'm excited to share with you. So what I have to show you, I have 2 blankets that I started back in August of 2023. And in August of 2023, we kind of revamped the program to give you some more options in construction method. We've always had 6 to 8 color stories that you can pick from. We've always had 2 to 3 yarn weights available and always had either knit or crochet. So this has always been one of the most customizable make-alongs that I've ever seen. But this second year also introduced 2 different construction methods. So in the first year, everybody knit or crocheted blocks that they seamed up at the end. But in year 2, we introduced the strips. And so I'm going to begin by showing off my almost completed strip blanket, which is right here. Guys, this blanket doesn't have a border yet. That's all that it needs to be finished. And it is a very comfortable full-size blanket almost already. So I'm very, very happy with it. If you've been following along in my regular vlog, Created to Create, you will know that I was right here when I filmed just a week or so ago for the beginning of September, for the September episode, and I have since completed all of June and July's strip. So this blanket began way down here back in August of 2023 with that zigzag pattern. And I do not know if I can remember all of these color names. I will try, but I didn't think to grab my tags, so bear with me. But this was the August of 2023 colorway. I believe it was just called Enchanted. In September, we did Japanese cables in a colorway called Just Before Dusk. Then this would have been October, when we did little, they look like, I always call them kitty whiskers, but I think we were thinking they looked like spiders. This was our October pattern, and it was done in Electric Sky. Now, in between each of these patterns is a bonus pattern that you're given mine's really hard to make out because the yarn is black, so the video just doesn't pick it up. But each one of those little black stripes is a different stitch pattern that's separating the main stitch pattern. Here in November, this beautiful pink leaves that we did in a leaf pattern, and I'm not remembering this. I'll go back and look, and if I can't remember the name of the colorway, I'll put it on the screen for you. But there's this. This was October, November. Then in December, we had this one, which I also do not recall the name of, and it was a zigzag pattern. Then January, guys, I really don't remember the names of these. There's January. It was a 3D textured chain link pattern. That one was really unique. February, we have this fun textured kind of a bubble pattern. It kind of bubble waves. Here's March. March was actually one of my favorite patterns to knit. It was super fun. Here is April. It's kind of similar to February, but it has some lace and a few differences. Here was May. This one was, all these stitches are flowers, flower stitches. Then we did June, which is a very fun knit and purl with simple 2x2 cables in a simple pattern. And then we I finished up anyway, with July, which is just sequence knitting. Just knits and purls. And it makes this lovely pattern that is actually reversible. It's the same. It is flip shift reversible. So it's like mirrored. Front and back are mirrored. They're not identical, but they're very similar. And that is all the knit stitch patterns for the blanket. Like I said, I'm going to, I still have some ends are woven and some are not. I'm kind of hit and miss on whether or not I stop and do that. So I need to weave in the ends and put a border on it. But this baby is 1 full year of the Hot Springs Fiber Company subscription. So it's very fun because you pick your color story, so you kind of have an idea what the color families are going to be like, but you don't know exactly what colors are going to come when and in what, in what way, if they're going to be solid or variegated or which colors out of the photograph she's going to be highlighting any given month. But yeah, I'm super, super thrilled with it. I'm already using it as a blanket because not having a border does not keep it from being warm and cozy. And in fact, we were watching a movie the other night and I was cuddled up under this. I love it. So very happy with my year 2 strip version. And a little more work is going to be needed for my year 2 block version, but I have it. So my block version, it's going to need a little more finishing because I've woven in most of the ends. I've blocked every block, but I haven't woven in all the ends and I haven't seamed it up. And so it will still need to be seamed together and bordered, but I am going to take the time to show you all the different blocks. And I have 3. The first year I did this, I used the US 6 needle size, which is what the pattern recommends. And I got 2 blocks out of each ball of yarn. And this year I decided to go down a needle size to the size 5 needle, and I was able to get 3 blocks by doing that. So of each one of these, I have 3 blocks. This was the August. So you can see it's the same pattern as my strip blanket, just done in blocks. And this is called Welcome Home. In September, again, Japanese cables were done. And this color is called Firefly. This color is called Firefly. So again, these are the exact same stitch patterns that you saw in the big blanket minus the bonus stitches. I didn't do any of the bonus stitches for the block construction. But this is the October pattern. You can see those little spiders. This is the front porch light. And I know these colors better because they have little tags on them telling me the color. All of them are from the Cabin in the Woods color story. Here is the November blocks in Cedar Chest. Beautiful. And the December zigzags again, this time in Into the Woods. I really enjoy just simple knit purl patterns that give you sequence knitting, basically. I really enjoy the effects. Here is the January. That chain link pattern shows up really nicely on the blocks. Because of the heavy cabling, I did run out of yarn pretty quick in the strip version. Even in the block version, to get 3 blocks, I think the 3rd block I had to cast on and bind off in like another color, but you really can't hardly tell. And it's going to be hidden in the seam anyway. But this one did definitely use up more yarn. And in this case, I think it does just show off a little better in the block version. You can see more of those chains. And this color was Dragonfly Cove. And let's see, that brought us to February. Again, we have these fun. So in my strip blanket, these come out looking kind of like this. But in my block blanket, it'll be seamed together and they're going to look more like this, which was kind of an interesting difference between the two construction methods. And this color was called Blooming Pincushion Moss. And I love it's just a textured kind of wave pattern. It was really fun to knit. All right, and then in March, we did Lamb's Ear. That's the name of this. And again, this was this pattern that I really loved knitting this pattern. It lies very flat. It's very pretty. It's called Lamb's Ear. This was a really fun pattern. And then in April, guys, I'll tell you, I spent a half hour this morning trying to find the 3rd block because when I pulled all these out of storage, I only could find 2. And the whole time I'm panicking going, I know I made 3 of these. The 3rd one somehow got stuck in between 2 different colors. It was just out of order. But it was there the whole time. But yeah, so here is my April block. This color is called, let me see if I can't see the, oh, In the Green. And this one it's very similar to 2 months before, but you can see that the waves are a little wider. They're a little thicker. It's a bigger cable. And the lace in the middle is really fun. I want to show those two together. It's just they're similar, but they're not the same. So there's this one. And then this one too, you can see it didn't go sideways like the other one did. So that was really fun to see 2 different kind of ways of doing a similar pattern, but they're very different at the same time. And that one was also a lot of fun to knit. Then we have Morning Hike, which would have been, oh dear, whatever the next month was. What did I say that last month was? April, so this would have been May. Oh yes, this is the one where the stitch patterns are all based on flowers. This one was fun too. This was Morning Hike was the color story. And then June, again, we had those same simple 1/1 cable crosses making this really unique textured pattern. And this color story was called Telling the Understory. So I really love that because the understory is that dark layer of shadow that's under the canopy of a forest. And so we have these, they're still greens, but they're a darker kind of gray-y green. Really love that. It was really beautiful. And then July was Leaf Litter. That's the name of the colorway. And again, you can see that fun textured zigzag pattern. It's a sequence knit pattern. And yeah, so here is what 12 months of 3 blocks a month looks like for you. And I will be seaming this up and putting a border around it. The border color, whoops, hold on. The border color for Enchanted was that black, and that the border will be the same kind of black. I think that's called squid ink. Isn't that fun? But the border color for Cabin in the Woods is this lovely gray. And so this is what I'll be using to seam it up and to put a border around it. So I'm planning on doing a crochet slip stitch seam. That's the same seam I did in my 2022 blanket. And I'm planning on doing an I-cord border, which is also the same as I did in my 2022 blanket. for the cabin in the woods block blanket. For my strip blanket, I'm going back and forth. I haven't really decided if I want to just crochet like a single crochet border, if I want to just do garter stitch border all the way around. I haven't really decided yet. I'll probably block this. It's already been mostly steam blocked, but I think I'm going to go ahead and just wet block it completely and see how it changes, if it changes at all, if that does anything, and then kind of go from there. But right now I'm leaning towards just picking up 300 stitches on the short ends, because that's the stitch count for the blanket, and knitting a few rows of garter stitch and casting off, and then picking up on the long edge whatever is proportionate to the, I'll like measure it, you know, measure the short edges and see that's 300 stitches in however many, I think it's about 4 feet right now, 4 feet or whatever I wind up measuring, and then make a proportion and see how many feet is the long edge and pick up that many stitches. That's kind of what I'm leaning toward doing right now. This is going to be on the back burner for a while. I'm not in a hurry to finish it. Like I said, I'm already using it. It's fully functional without a border. Works just fine. So I will do it. I'm absolutely going to put a border on it, but I'm not in a big hurry for that. This one is a gift for my oldest son, and his birthday is the end of October. So that one should be getting finished a little sooner, because I do have an important purpose for that particular blanket, and I don't want to give it to him with no border. I mean, he lives with me still, so I could just give it to him and then take it back and finish it. I might have done that a time or two with a few things. But I would like to have it done. So I am hoping to finish that by the end of October. And in the meantime, I am starting my 3rd year of this knit along. I have 2 new blankets I'm planning to do, and I plan to do them both for 12 months again. And the yarn has finally arrived. There was a delay in my delivery that just was unavoidable. It happens. Blame it on the mailman, I guess. But I finally got my boxes. But it was fine, because as you know, I was still finishing that strip blanket a week ago. I was still working on it. So it's not like I was done with the old. But I have my boxes, and I have not opened them. So I'm excited to show them to you. We're going to open them together. I don't know which is which. Now, one of these is an old retired colorway that you can't get anymore, so I'm sorry if I tempt you, called Campfire. And the other one is the new color story that replaced Campfire, which is called Fall Fun. And that one you can get. But it just goes to show you, if there's a color story you really like and you're thinking about joining the make-along, you better get it ordered, because once you order it, she will dye it for you as long as you want to make the blanket. So if you order it and it retires next month, you're good. She will dye that for you until you are done with it. But once she retires it, you can't go back. So keep that in mind if you're kind of thinking about it. If there's a color story you love, all of the color stories currently are a year old except for Fall Fun. And some of them are older than that. I think Mineral Rights has been around since sometime in the middle of the 1st year. So keep that in mind. Let's see what's in my box. Ooh, this is the new fun fall color story. Look at that. And I'll put a picture right up on the screen besides so you can see. But look at that. And look at those fun fuzzball stitch markers. I love them. So my box has my main yarn and a snack. My stitch markers that I showed you. And my goodie this month looks like, oh, cute. They're little, oh, there's a little one and a big one. Oh, fun. They're just project bags. That's really cool. So and they're clear, so you can see through them and see your stuff. And there's a big one and there's a little one. I love it. Those are adorable. Normally, your box will also come with a 24 to 25 gram mini hank. That is your contrast color. I know that I don't think they've dyed the contrast color for the brand new color story yet, so that should be coming. And then of course there's my knit pattern. If this was my very, very first box, it would also have a needle, but since I've been knitting for 3 years, the blanket of knowledge, I told her I didn't need another needle. I could just use the ones I already have. But yeah, that is my new color story for 2024. So this one you can get if you're interested. This color story is still available. And that means that this one is my retired color story that I'm getting because I signed up for it right before she retired it. So, oh, lovely. Okay, so this one has a little card with the color story, because this is a first box too, because I'm going to crochet it. So right on top here is a card with my color story. They'll probably have some for the fun fall that are going to come soon. I imagine they just haven't got them printed out yet. But that introduces my color story. And here's my hook, because this is my first time to crochet one. So it's my first time box. It came with its hook. And oh my goodness, look at that yarn. Look at my little fuzz balls. Oh, I love the little fuzz ball stitch markers, you guys. That is gorgeous. I am so glad I got in by the skin of my teeth with this color story, because back in August of 2023, I debated, do I want to do Enchanted or did I want to do Campfire? And I went back and forth, and foolish me, I was like, well, I'll just do Campfire next year. And then she told me she was going to retire it, and I was like, ooh, put me down before you retire it. So I just barely got in with Campfire, but I did. And of course there's my snack, and just like my other one, here are my little zipper bags. My other one had yellow, these are black, but they're the same. And my pattern. So again, I'm missing the contrast yarn. I'll have to ask, I'm not sure why it's not in my box. She did send me a few other things at the same time as these, so it's possible that the contrast yarn got put in a different box that I haven't opened yet. I'll have to go look for it. But yeah, that is my new blankets of knowledge that I'm going to get started on this month. And I'm very excited. You guys, I know I've already done now almost 3 full blankets, and I am still loving it so much that I'm going to knit 2 more. So it is a wonderful make-along, knit or crochet. I'm going to knit 1 more, crochet 1 more. You guys should definitely think about joining it. Again, if you are interested in this make-along, please check out my affiliate link down below. If you choose to order anything from Hot Springs Fiber Company using my link, it does benefit me and the channel, but it does not cost you anything extra at all. So please do all of your Hot Springs Fiber Company shopping from my link down below, and I would be very grateful. I almost forgot. There's one more blanket of knowledge thing that I want to share with you. Give me just a minute. All right, so I am the creator of the knit along instructional game plan videos for the Hot Springs Fiber Company make along. And this year, I have decided, instead of knitting blocks for those videos, I am going to make a scarf. So I am going to knit either out of scraps from previous months. This is a leftover from the cabin in the woods, or possibly from something left over from one of my new blankets. But I'm going to knit in the videos. I'm going to add to this strip, and after 12 months, I should have a scarf. So I'll have, at the end of this year, I should have 5 blankets of knowledge. 2 of them I'm going to give away, but I will have made 5. Am I really keeping 3 of them? 3 of them I'll have given away, yeah. And I'll have 2 that I kept. And then I'll have a scarf as well. So I wanted to show off that. So this is the August pattern knit up in my scarf. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you as well. I think that is all I had to show off today. I wanted to mainly just focus on my blankets of knowledge and welcome in year 3 of this fabulous make-along. I hope you guys are making along with me, and I'll see you again in the next video. Y'all have a blessed day.